It is Joelle Seashell, your local Oahu realtor, and I want to give you 5 tips on how to sell your property quickly for the best price. Tip number 1 is going to be make sure that your property is decluttered. When people are looking at your house, they want to be able to envision how their things and their life will fit into the space. So if you have things that are really cluttering up the space, it's going to clutter their mindset and they're not going to be able to feel as comfortable about envisioning themselves in the home. Now, when you have it vacant, it can work out really well because it's kind of just a blank slate and it can be a real fresh and clean feeling. Additionally, when you have it lightly staged, a lot of times it's helpful because people then can estimate what things would look like with their belongings in the property. So for example, some people have trouble envisioning how much space a queen size bed would fit in this bedroom. So sometimes helping people by putting just the basic couch in the living room and a bed in the bedroom, things like that, it can really help them to be able to calculate what kind of space is actually in the property. The second tip I have for you is depersonalize. Now, when it comes to depersonalization, when I first joined the brokerage I'm now with, I went to go and have my business cards made. And one of the things they recommended to me is to not put my personal photo, my face, on my business card because sometimes people will make judgments about what you look like before they even speak to you or get to know you on a personal level. So, you want to keep things as neutral as possible, so to speak. So in the same sense, depersonalizing your home is a beneficial thing. So taking down all personal photos and putting them in a drawer while people are looking at your home is really going to allow for people's minds to adapt to the space and visualize themselves living there. The third thing I want to recommend is de-smell your property. Now, when we're living in our own homes, sometimes we become desensitized to the clutter and we also become desensitized to certain smells. Now, in my household, we love sardines, for example. And after I eat a can of sardines, I have learned that I actually have to rinse out the can before I put it in the trash. Otherwise, if I just throw the empty tin in the trash with all the oil and residue of the fish, it can smell funky. And you leave the house, you come back later, you open the door, and it's just, you're repulsed by it. You're like, what is that smell? That's horrible. So keeping your mind aware of what it might be like to be a stranger entering the home will allow you to see things and think of things that you might not otherwise be tuning into, that you might have tuned out. So getting the place freshened up and smelling nice is also going to make a huge, great first impression when people walk into the property. Now, the next thing that's fairly inexpensive and easy to do is to give a fresh coat of paint to the interior walls of the home. This will just make it feel bright and alive. A lot of times a white color can make it feel like the home is full of light. And in some cases, when you're living in your home, you hang your pictures, you've got holes in the wall. Just taking down all of the hardware, filling the holes, and giving it a fresh coat of paint many times will actually help your property to show better, but then also be less work for you once you get into escrow and it's coming up on closing time. Because there will be a point in time where everything has to be dialed in and you have to be moving all of your belongings out of the property. So all the work you do on the front side to prepare for that is just going to make your move and your transition so much easier once you've sold the home. It's also standard for the seller to pay for professional cleaning of the entire property during the escrow process. Now, that's a term that's negotiable. So depending on the circumstances, buyers could negotiate that, if we're entered into a seller's market, which we just came out of, and they're competing with a whole bunch of other buyers, they might negotiate to let the seller just move out without cleaning the property and save them that cost, or have them clean the property and reimburse the seller for the cost of cleaning. So traditionally, and especially as we are now kind of settling into a buyer's market, the seller will pay for the cleaning of the property. So that said, in this particular situation, for example, the property is vacant. So one of the things we've done before we ever went to market was we cleaned the entire property so that it's fresh and crisp with its beautiful new white paint and all the holes filled. And it being vacant, this really is a blank slate for a buyer to come into and just envision how they could settle in and make it their own. So there you have it, 5 tips from Joelle Seashell to you. So that would be declutter, depersonalize, de-smell, fresh coat of paint, and why not clean it? Clean it up. It's just gonna save you time. Thank you for tuning into my video. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys more tips for selling your property. Tune in to hear those future tips. Aloha.